Hey there, tubers. Well, this is a little bit of a different video for me. One of the things I want to do, because whenever you're lifting a lot of weights, one of the things that you need is protein. I like to really pretty much focus my nutrition on a high protein diet. But with that, you want to make sure you get that. Some with supplements, like your protein powders and drinks. But you also want a good supply of whole food proteins. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to grill a brown sugar Dijon glazed pork loin. So what we got here is a nice 4-pound pork loin, and I'm just going to kind of run through the steps on what I'm doing, and we'll get this on the grill and we'll go from there. Okay, so the first step is on the recipe. They want you to salt and pepper both sides of the pork loin. However, my wife drugged me to a antique thingamajigger at the vintage antique shopping something or other at the fairgrounds, and it was really cool. I got to meet a guy. He's got a company here called Woo Pig Barbecue. And this is a spice called She Calls Me Honey. So instead of just your normal salt and pepper blend, he actually had this on, he made some candied bacon with this spice, and it was freaking awesome. But we're gonna put this as our spice layer on the meat instead of the salt and pepper blend. So just give it a good dusting. Kind of get it in there, massage it, a little, there you go, little balls. All right, make sure you want to get the other side, good dusting. All right, so what we're putting here, we're gonna do 4 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. If I have this open, good idea. All right. This Dijon doesn't come out. So 1. 2. Squeezing that bottle helps you work on that grip strength too. That's so you're cooking and you're getting the workout all in one setting. And as always, when you're in the kitchen, and it probably is better said than done, is you always want to make sure before you start handling your food, especially if you're going to have people over. If you're just cooking for yourself, do whatever you want to do. But make sure you wash your hands. Of course, the only time you may not be able to do that is if you're out backpacking, and then you're just happy to eat. The next, I believe, final ingredient really is you want to get about 2/3 cup of packed brown sugar. Get it in there, and then I'm going to get a spoon. And you just want to mix that up, that brown sugar and that Dijon, where it forms kind of a paste. So starting to look a little bit like that. Right. Secret ingredient time. Ooh, put a little splash of some good old Jim Beam bourbon into your mixture. Doesn't call for it on the recipe, but I usually will not go 100% by the recipe. I like to give it my own flair. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Now we got a good paste. All right. Now it's just a matter of glazing this bad boy up. This is going to be so delicious. I can already tell. And off camera, my wife is laughing at me. She thinks it's hilarious that I'm doing this. But as she gets her fork and digs into it, she's gonna be so thankful. All right. Get a little bit more of a dusting of some spice. Let's just get all that glaze up on there. All right. So what this smells already pretty amazing. And my dogs are in the kitchen with me. I think they can smell it too. At least one of them is. I don't know where the other one's sitting in a chair outside. All right. That looks pretty darn good. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this sit and just let it kind of soak in that goodness for just a wee little bit while I go start the grill. Let that sucker warm up, and then we'll put the meat on, and then hopefully in about 20-25 minutes we'll stick the temperature gauge in there and get a nice 160, 165. It's kind of weird talking and you can't see my face, but I'm talking with my hands. All right, guys, so we've got everything marinated. I had to take a little bit of a pause, which is fine. It allows the meat to get a little bit more marinated with all the spices and the brown sugar and the bourbon and the Dijon mustard. So perfectly fine. I mean, heck, you can even do the night before and leave it overnight and let those just kind of play in there together and marinate and kind of love on each other and, you know, kind of get that groove on. And then the next day probably be 20 even times better. So anyway, so we're gonna light the grill. Now I do not have a fancy grill. I do not have a pellet grill. I do not have a big green egg. I just got your old fashioned barrel charcoal grill, because that's how I like to roll. No gas here. And I typically will not do lighter fluid either. I like doing this smoker chimney. It takes about the same amount of time to get the charcoals ready as you would if you lit it with the lighter fluid. But you're not having that chemical. Depending on the lighter fluid, you may get a chemical smell or something, so, or a taste. Smell. You're not going to taste a smell. You're going to smell a taste. But anyway, so we're going to get this going in about 15 minutes. We're going to put the porkloin. Oh, and look at that! Really, that's a full moon tonight. Woo! See? There you go. Squash them in. Squash them in. Squash them in. Okay. So we got ourselves a nice bed of coals. Got a pan over here, some liquid in it. Now all we need is the meat. Get that going. All right, look at that boy. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that pork loin sitting there. All right, we got her going. So let that do its thing. Looking at 20-25 minutes, maybe 30 since it's indirect heat. But we'll should keep it at a nice temperature of about 350, 375, and we should be good to go. All right, whew. Let's see what we got here. I think we're about halfway through the grilling process. Oh yeah. Woo. Smoke in the eyes. Oh, this is looking good. All right. Flip this sucker over. Oh yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. All right. So one of the things you always have to do is, of course I'm not gonna do it right this minute, but once you flip it over, baste it. You can baste it in a blend of apple juice. I actually have some, I think, pineapple juice, and then a little bit of the brown sugar, bourbon, and Dijon paste that was a little bit left in the bowl that I put together. So I'll come out here in a minute and I'll baste that a little bit. But we'll keep going. About another 10 minutes or so, we will check it out and see where we're at with temperature. All right, so what we got here. Oh yeah, so we moved it over so we can get a little bit of color. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna put it back over here, over that indirect heat. Now that we got some good color on that. Oh yeah, doesn't that look good? Oh yeah, folks, I tell you what. That's what I'm talking about, baby. All right, let's put this in here. See where we're at with the temperature gauge. All right, looks like we need just a little bit more time. We got to hit that 160 mark at least. So we're almost there. We got the color. I'm gonna put a little more baste on it, and then I'll bring you back whenever she's totally done. All right, folks, the time has come. We've got this beautiful porkloin. Look at that color. Now's the time to cut her open. Let's see what we got. Hold on one second. Add some bread. Didn't want to burn it. All right. Some initial cut. Oh yeah. All right. Oh, look at that. You can see a little bit of a smoke ring around that. Whew. Temperature-wise, it's kind of hot. All right. That's so good. Oh my gosh. Definitely a winner. So what I'll do is, sorry I don't like talking with my mouth full, but can't help myself. I will put the recipe down in the details below, and then you can have a go at this. And like I said, a couple things I did different, is I used a honey barbecue spice instead of just salt and pepper, and added in a little bit of bourbon, and just did what I did. So I'll put that down there in the details area. And be sure to, if you're liking the content of this page, with the workouts, the food challenges, now grilling, give me a thumbs up, like the page, and you know, if you have any recommendations on things that we could try and put on here, feel free to do so. Other than that, take care of yourselves, be good to your folks, and get your fit on.